Hello everyone and welcome to the Redmen TV. Yes, I'm Steve. This is the Uncensored match build-up show ahead of AC Milan versus Liverpool. Going to have a look ahead to Liverpool's first Champions League game of the new season. To do so, I am made up to be joined by John Machin and by Ian Young. We've just spoken through Nottingham Forest 1 Liverpool 0 or vice versa on the final word show, but we can park that now. It's there for you if you want to go and check it over on redmenplus.com. We're all sights ahead towards Italy. Ian, I'll come to you first. It's another first. It's Arne Slot's first European game. Not the easiest of ties coming off the back of a defeat, but yeah, time to just get back on that wagon.
Yeah, you know what? I think it'll be a good thing that his first one's away. Away from Anfield, just ease them in a little bit and then bring them back to Anfield in the next one. I think it's one we should have enough in the bank to win. I'm not going to say comfortably, but I think it's one we should go and get the 3 points over there. Looking forward to it. It's great just to be back in the Champions League, isn't it? It's
brilliant, I say, John. The Tuesday games, like we're here at Redmen, we're doing a build-up show at 11:30 because the Tuesday fixtures are back. It's much better than being on a Thursday.
Thursday night's horrible.
Yeah, I mean, there's actually some Champions League games this Thursday just because of the way this mad league thing works. But I think when you lose a game, sometimes it's like, well, what's better? Do you need a lot of time off, or are you better just getting straight back on the wagon, trying to go again?
I think for the fans, it's the quicker you get going, the better. I'm not sure if that's the case for the footballers. I think they would all love to have a bit more rest. I mean, we've sort of backed ourselves into a bit of a corner, haven't we, with not rotating and then throwing in loads of subs. And now we've got to pick a team to go to AC and try and get a result. Yeah,
absolutely. It's a good question. Actually, we've got from Adam who said, what happened to the studio? Yeah, we're in the studio. It goes back to the question that we had before, really, of the turnaround time's mad. So the other studio is currently getting ready for the podcast that Paul and the guys will be on later.
They never let me in the other studio. Don't know why.
No. Well, this is usually like we do this show. We do our review shows in here, which obviously John's always part of the final word job. But because, yeah, like I said, the tight turnaround, that's why we're in the. I like it though. It's nice. It's comfortable. We're fine. We're doing well. Let's talk about Milan then. Ian, I'll start with you first. They had a poor start to their season, actually. They hadn't won in the opposite Liverpool, really. They hadn't won in 3, but then they did get themselves a 4-0 win at the weekend, albeit against the team who were bottom of the Italian league. But they were 4-0 up inside half an hour. Yeah. So like, if there was any, Fonseca was getting a little bit of stick off his crowd and a little bit going on, if there was any, I don't know, negative confidence, they weren't feeling great about themselves, being 4-0 up after half an hour at home will sort it out, even if it is against the worst team in the league in Italy. At least they're not coming into it. If they'd have been coming into it having not won that game, it could have been real panic stations for Milan.
To be fair, I'm glad that they got that win, because they might come out of it and not just sit at a low block until that we struggle tomorrow night. Yeah, they not have the best of starts. Before Saturday they'll have a bit of confidence. It should be a good game tomorrow. I'm expecting a good game. 2 decent attacking sides. Although AC Milan does seem to be made up of a lot of players that didn't quite make it in the Premier League. So they'll have a few things to prove tomorrow. But Premier League fans will be watching them tomorrow night.
It is interesting, John, because like I say, it's only actually the 5th time Liverpool played in Milan, which is mad. 2 of them are finals, and then obviously the 2 group games from a couple of years ago. But it's a different Milan now. The economics of world football have changed slightly. You look at the Milan team that played the other day. Emerson Royal at fullback. He was deemed not good enough to play for Tottenham. You've got Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who's bounced around the Premier League a bit, but not, again, maybe a little bit of the PSR stuff, but never quite really made the grade. Tammy Abraham, actually, again, similar. He moved after doing well in Italy before. Christian Pulisic, another one who just never quite got it. Like, there are a lot of familiar names here, but it does go to show, it's not that long ago, really, when AC Milan were able to get the best talent in the world. I feel now
they're all decently talented footballers. Yeah. On their day can do you damage. But you go back to the AC Milan of, the 2000s who were winning European Cups with Ancelotti there. They had a little bit of Ancelotti magic, didn't they, at the time? You look at the players they were fielding there, and it's a different world altogether, isn't it?
Actually, they've got some good players. I think the goalkeeper is fantastic. They've got Rafa Leao's a good player. Theo Hernandez is a good player. So it's not like they're any pushover here, don't get me wrong, but it is interesting that, again, that's just the economics of world football now. Italy, if players aren't quite doing it in the Premier League, a lot of them tend to go and be starting for big teams in Italy, and AC Milan are no different than that.
And it's vice versa. If somebody's doing really, really well for AC Milan, they probably end up in the Premier League. That's just the way football goes, wasn't it? When in the 90s, a lot of your big players used to go to Italy and used to go to Spain, whereas your better players now seem to come to the Premier League. So, yeah, they're a long way from the likes of Kaká and Ronaldinho and Seedorf, team players like that, aren't they?
Yeah, none of those type of superstars. I suppose if you look at their team in an attacking sense, like I say, they had a front three the other day, John Pulisic, Abraham, and Rafa Leao. I'm guessing they're probably similar to what a lot of teams do. They'll be looking at Rafa Leao probably on the left, up against maybe Alexander Arnold, Conor Bradley, whoever it is. That's probably going to be the main threat that they offer, I would guess, in the front three. Something that Liverpool shouldn't really be too unfamiliar with. Teams are going to attack down that side.
Well, I mean, I think all three of their forwards are people who are going to give you problems if you give them the ball.
Yeah.
So it is quite a threat. I mean, I think our defence has been so good this season, and that I don't really think they'll give us that much trouble, particularly if we can keep them quiet early on. In the old adage about keeping them quiet for 20 minutes or whatever. I think if we can make sure they don't do anything very early on in the game, I think we should be okay. But knowing that all of those can just have a little spark and do something. Yeah. So you've got to be careful for 90 minutes.
It feels like their left-hand side's their better side. Of Hernandez and Leao, probably two of their better players. I'm guessing here, like I say, I'm guessing Salah starts. We'll talk about Liverpool's team later. Whoever's going to be playing on that right of the midfield, whether it's Szoboszlai, whether the manager makes changes, whoever goes at right back, either Trent or Conor Bradley, they're probably going to be the busier, you would guess. I'm guessing that's where AC Milan are going to try and really have a go at us.
Yeah, but Salah, I think Salah will start. Salah, I don't think gets his flowers when it comes to second back and battling. I think he's a really hard worker. I think he does the ugly things that he doesn't normally get credit for. Don't get me wrong, when he's going forward, he's the best in the world. No one does it like Mo Salah, but he's very, very good at second back, and he does win a lot of balls back himself. He's just Salah, isn't he? He's great at everything.
I suppose, John, on the flip side, actually, again the weekend, they won 4-0, again, worst team in the league, and good luck to them. Before that, they'd conceded 2 against Lazio, 2 against Parma, 2 against Torino. Again, one of them was at home, 2 of them were on the road. Good teams, don't get me wrong, but not amazing. They've also been switching their centre-backs a little bit, like Tomori starts, then he doesn't start. They're having issues there. I do believe Liverpool will be quite confident that, unlike at the weekend, I don't think Milan are going to be a low block. I think Liverpool will be quite confident. Even again, he's about attacking fullbacks. One of the criticisms of Theo Hernandez is that you can maybe be able to get at him a little bit as well. I think Liverpool might be quite confident that they can score goals against this Milan side, albeit they have got a very good goalkeeper.
Yeah, I mean, I think this tie is all about us rather than them. I think it's how well we play, and if we play well, we should win the game. But will we play well is the question. Are we over the tiredness? Can we pick the right team? Can we get the right players on the pitch? It's a big conundrum that Slot has to solve. And if he gets the right team on the pitch and we play to our strengths, we'll win the game.
Yeah, you'd like to think so. I suppose the interesting one, Ian, again, it's likely that if Milan stick to what they tend to do recently, they go 4-3-3, very similar to Liverpool. It was Fofana, isn't it? Starts in the middle. They had Loftus-Cheek and Ryan. Just do it could be anyone, really. If it gets to like a man v man type of battle, you'd half hope that Liverpool do have more quality in those type of situations. There's nothing massively tactical that Liverpool may be worried about from Milan at this point.
Now, Liverpool just need to turn up and do the job the way they need to. Liverpool needs to turn up and be good. They need to beat them man for man. But like I said, I think even if we were to freshen up tomorrow and rotate, we should have enough to beat them tomorrow.
I mean, I don't think he's got much choice but to rotate, to be honest.
No.
And I worry slightly that he's then going to fill the team which hasn't played his system, so far this season. Yeah. The likes of Curtis Jones hasn't played for him yet. They worry me because, it's fresh to them, and we just don't know how well they're embedded in it, you know.
I do wonder how much AC Milan, again, if you're planning from a Liverpool point of view, Ian, they have done a little bit of 4-2-3-1, like say 4-3-3/4-2-3-1. They've used a lot of different players. He's changed his centre-backs, he's changed his full-backs. You know, really, Rafa Leao has been a consistent, but there haven't been too many players who haven't been in and out of the team, really. As Ruben Loftus-Cheek's actually done a fair amount of games as well. I wonder if Arne Slot actually knows what he's going to be coming up against there, because he hasn't rotated famously. He's made one change, you know, and that was he made that at half time, and then he stuck with it from that point on against Ipswich. It does feel like, again, we haven't really got too many ideas. We know Leao will play. Other than that, actually, he's actually got plenty of options, and he's used them all quite well at this moment in time. Well, I say well, they haven't really won a game. I mean, he's used them quite often, so I do wonder how much Liverpool have got an idea of what they're going to be facing here, because that could be tough if you haven't.
I don't think Liverpool have any clue whatsoever, and I think he'll keep it very close to his chest as well. That's just for us to react how we react tomorrow. I think, like John said, we worry about us, we don't worry about AC Milan. If we just focus on what we can do and we do our job, there shouldn't be an issue, really.
I've got some interesting comments, actually, after the win, John, against... at the weekend, AC Milan, their manager spoke, because they play Inter in the derby after they play us. His comments, I have to be honest, I've already started thinking about both games against Liverpool and Inter. I realised the importance of the derby. Liverpool will be very difficult, but I cannot deny I have already started studying Inter too. I know what it means to the fans, where we are working to have good performances in both games. That's very
unusual for a
usually a
footballer.
manager would always say next game.
Yeah.
Fonseca, maybe it's because they've had a difficult start, and if they lose to Inter in the derby, he's 1 win from 5 and the world's falling in. But that's a very strange comment for a manager to say, that he's looking ahead to a game that he hasn't played yet.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's taking that off as well.
Normally, you know, you would say, oh, it's a Tuesday, that game's not till the weekend. You know, there's plenty of time to worry about that later. But to actually, I didn't realise it said that. I knew the derby was coming up for them, but, you know, I thought they'd just ignore that, you know. But
especially if
that's really good news for us, to be honest.
If they get beat tomorrow, that'll get launched at him tomorrow. He was looking too far ahead. He should have been focusing on the Liverpool game.
It's more the other way. It's like, what's he prioritising? Yeah. Is he prioritising? Because we don't know in this Champions League game, this mad format, we don't know exactly what you need to get through top 8 or top 24, whatever you need to get. If he's
second guessing.
Is he saving his team for Sunday? Because he play
if he's
Tuesday,
second
Sunday's
guessing,
a big gap.
If he's second guessing what team he's going to play on at the weekend, you know, I mean, who knows what's going to happen in this game? He could get 2 injuries, and then, you know, his whole game plan goes out the window.
I just found it interesting comments that there's a game on Tuesday and the next game isn't until Sunday, and you're talking about, I'll be honest, I'm having half a look at that one. I mean, how much prep could he have done for Liverpool? Like, if he's looking at 2 games, I don't know, but it's just something to keep an eye on. I do wonder how strong AC Milan will go. Tuesday to Sunday, they shouldn't really have any problems. Saturday, Tuesday, Sunday, but we'll find out in due course. We're going to speak about Liverpool, of course, and what we're going to do to try and exploit AC Milan shortly. Just to round it up, John, go from just a purely, I don't know, anecdotal point of view. Never easy, Liverpool going to Italy. Just in general, Liverpool haven't always had the best of times. I mean, Napoli have been the main cause of that in recent times.
We've done well in the San Siro recently, haven't we? Which is interesting. But it can be a really difficult place to go to. And Italy's not great because some places in Italy are very, very dangerous for our fans, and that makes a big difference as well. I think, you know, I'm not sure. I still think we'll get our full quota of fans going over there, but the whole experience is different going to Italy. It's very fanatical over there. You know, the crowd are going to be up for it. It's going to be the atmosphere is going to be brilliant. You know, so
I'm going.
I'm looking forward to it after that.
Just keep my head down. I'll be all right. Yeah,
I mean, Milan is not one of those places where you
it's a beautiful
tend to be up from.
It's a beautiful city. It really is. I'm looking forward to going over. But yeah, I'm fascinated to see what mood they're in general. Really, it feels like they're all a little bit higgledy-piggledy, and hopefully, like I say, Liverpool can take advantage of that. We're going to speak about Liverpool after the break. Before then, a couple of messages for you guys. Just want to let you know we do have tickets on sale for our 2 live events. Redmen TV live in Dundee Thursday the 10th of October, and also we've just started releasing tickets on Skiddle. These are both, by the way. We're live in Liverpool as well at Hotel Anfield on the 19th of October. That's a Saturday. It's the night before Liverpool play Chelsea, so if you're in town for the big game, or you're travelling up or whatever, or you just want to get involved, you live around here as well, then Hotel Anfield on the 19th of October, as well as Dundee on the 10th of October. So go to skiddle.com, get your tickets and come see us. I'll be honest, it isn't lads or ladies just sitting down talking about footy. That's not what we do in these live shows. It's a proper night out. There's music, there's dancing, there's games, there's Chris doing cartwheels. It's interactive. It's basically
trying to do cartwheels.
It's chaos basically. It's a real good night out. It isn't just a live podcast. It's something completely different. So if you want to get yourselves involved, we'd love to see you at either of those two shows. We're going to go and speak about Liverpool and their team on what we should do after this quick break. Before we get to that break, trivia question for everyone who's live, you guys in the studio, and if you're listening to this after fact or watching after fact, play along in your head as well. Don't Google it, don't cheat. We mentioned before Liverpool's record at the San Siro. Liverpool won 2-1 against AC Milan in the last time they visited. It's the game famous for Nat Phillips' Cruyff's turn. Mo Salah scored Liverpool's equalising goal in that game, but who was it? Who scored the winner? Get your guesses in, and we'll be back with the answer to that, plus a look at Liverpool's tactics in the game after this quick message.
As you know by now, if you sign up on redmenplus.com as a Club Legend subscriber, you are in the prize draw every single month automatically to win incredible prizes from us. And it's generally signed stuff. And we peck the heads every time we meet somebody that used to play for Liverpool. And last time we saw Steve McManaman, we got him to sign this wonderful A Crew shirt. So if you want to be in with a chance of winning this incredible prize, sign Steve McManaman's shirt in A Crew, then all you have to do is get involved on redmenplus.com, sign up as a Club Legend, and if you win the prize draw, you'll win this. There's loads of other great things that you get as part of the Club Legend subscription, so do go over and check that out on redmenplus.com. Thank you very much, and you've got to be in it to win it. Get in.
Welcome back to the show. Yes, before the break, I did ask you who scored Liverpool's winner in the 2-1 win over Milan last time they went to the San Siro. Loads of people in the live chat got it right. James got it right. Ryan got it right. Sean got it right. Baloo got it right. It was, of course, our Lord and Saviour Divock Origi. Like John said in the break, he litters Liverpool's European games. Especially Divock Origi, the king of scoring goals in changed teams. We've seen plenty of that from Divock, and that's exactly what he did in Milan. Liverpool coming from 1-0 down to win 2-1 in that group game as well. Congratulations, everyone who got it right. Let's move on then. Let's talk about the Reds, and I'll start with you. At this time recording, obviously, the team are on the travelling to Italy. As far as we're aware, we don't know of any other issues from the weekend. It looks like he's got a clean bill of health, other than obviously the Harvey Elliott injury, which you already knew about. He didn't rotate at the weekend. How many changes? Are we expecting wholesale changes, just one or two? Because the way he spoke before Forest was that he doesn't tend to rotate much. But surely he's not going to go same again. So how you envision this, one or two wholesale, something in between?
I think like one or two. I think you have to protect Canate a little bit, don't you, with his history, so we might see Kwanzaa come in. I wouldn't be surprised if we're seeing Gakpo coming for Luis Diaz. I don't think there'll be loads and loads of saying. I mean, I would have said before he came on Saturday, maybe Darwin would get on again instead of Jota, but I thought he looked rusty, to say the least, when he came on Saturday. So I don't think that change will happen. But I say probably Kwanzaa, Gakpo, and maybe Curtis Jones might come in for somebody, because I thought he did really well during pre-season.
I suppose, like I say, John, let's go from the back. So Ali's in goal. Would you agree Kwanzaa maybe come in for Ibu? Is he going to look after Ibu? Ibu's been in good form, to be fair to him. Like, our knowledge of Ibu Konate is that you want to protect him.
This notion of I don't need to rotate, or don't tend to rotate, would suggest to me that he won't touch his back four. You know, he'll leave it exactly the same. I mean, I think Conor Bradley might have been worth a shot. You know, Kwanzaa, is a good shout, but I'm not so sure he'll bother. I think he might leave the defence where it is. It's not defence that tends to get rotated by people anyway, is it? It's midfield and forwards who tend to be.
You got to remember as well, like It is AC Milan away. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to rotate, you would have done it at the weekend. You maybe do it at Bournemouth at home. That's an easier game for Conor Bradley to start or Kostas Dimikas to start.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought. I thought he would have rotated against Forest, but the fact that he didn't, I think he's forced now to rotate some way. But I don't think it'll be in defence.
If he's worried, I suppose the other option we didn't raise before Ian is if we were saying before about if Milan's main attacking threat is down their left, Liverpool's right, the option to use Joe Gomez is still there.
Yeah.
He hasn't used Gomez at all yet. We haven't seen what he thinks of Joe Gomez. I mean, he nearly left. So maybe, there was talk like he was going to be allowed to go to Newcastle. So we don't know what he thinks of Gomez. But if you really want to shore things up away from home in Europe, the option of Gomez at full-back, either flank really is there for you.
I think he could possibly come in at left-back rather than right-back. I think more because of, I know he's not old, but his age is getting a little bit there, isn't it? On the Robbo, isn't he? And he is picking up niggles here and there. So it might be worth bringing Joe Gomez on the left rather than the right.
If you're going to freshen up midfield's often the place to do it, John. Gravenberch's been his best player. Is there any chance of an Endo? Again, if Endo's ever going to play a game, maybe it's a difficult one away from home, I don't know.
Yeah, a difficult game away from home is where you would probably want to play Endo. Whether he fancies him enough to play him, I don't know.
Yeah, I think he'll go Gravenberch.
Gravenberch has been one of our best players this season so far. You may want to continue.
Endo feels like a good sub option if you're winning, doesn't he?
Yeah. I think Szoboszlai's looking jaded, and I think Curtis for him might be, one option.
Yeah, well, the fact that he took Alexis off, didn't he, the weekend? Sobo played 90.
Yeah,
maybe Alexis has got in his legs.
I don't think we're the same team without him on the pitch, to be honest. So I'm hoping he plays.
So we think Jones in as well, and then up front, he's got Gakpo, he's got Nunes.
I think Nunes might get a shout. Because Jota was looking a bit jaded as well the other day. You've got Nunez, give him a go.
Diaz and Salah?
Possibly. Diaz in such good form again. Are you going to change that?
I think if it was me, I think I would. Yeah, I think I would actually give Kwanzaa a go. I would do Kwanzaa, Jones, Nunes would be definitely three I'd be looking at. It's difficult because when you get beat, you can justify anyone getting left out. You know what I mean? If anyone gets left out and on performance reasons of that front 5 or 6, really, no one's going to be able to argue too much. Although the lads off the bench didn't exactly cover themselves in glory either, so it's an issue. Jay Mango says Mache, Grav, and Szoboszlai all need a break. I wouldn't be surprised to see Endo, Morton, and Jones come in. I would be very much surprised to see that. I couldn't hide how surprised I would be if that happens. Why did he need a rest? I don't think Gravenberch looked tired. I think Szoboszlai and McAllister looked a little bit. You'd have to look after people, I understand it, but yeah, I'm not sure away at Milan's the place that he'd be doing that. That's why I'm surprised he didn't do more, I suppose. James says you could always use, what about Trent in midfield and Conor Bradley at right back? I mean, that option is there. He's tending not to want to do that though, Ian.
No. I think I've come round to John's way. I think really, I don't think the defence will change much. I still think we might get a Kwanzaa change, but that's not based on anything other than Konaté's history when it comes to injuries. I'd be protecting Konaté even more now because of the way he's played this season.
I have a suspicion that he's hoping to get through to the West Ham game without making too many changes, and then have wholesale changes against West Ham.
Yeah, I think there might be one or two. Yeah, I would go Darwin in this one. I don't think AC Milan are going to low block here. Big picture, San Siro, maybe you can. And again, pace on the break. I think Liverpool. That feels like how Liverpool could get at Milan there as well. They have been struggling a little bit at the back, so I think I will go Darwin. But I think I'll try and go Diaz and Salah if I could as well.
Yeah,
Diaz
again for pace.
My resting I would rather take people off. I'd rather start them and then get them off the pitch. And you've got a full bench here. The main question here, again, we won't know this until we see it tomorrow, of course. But like Chiesa, when you've got the bench that you're getting in the Champions League, you'll have more options on it. It feels like maybe we could see a bit of Chiesa in his homeland, of course. I'm guessing, you'll know the San Siro very well. He's played there twice a year for the last God knows how long. It feels like it could be Chiesa time off the bench.
And it'd be perfect, wouldn't it? Especially if we can get a couple of goals up and then get him on and just go and show us what you can do. Go and ease yourself into the team without any pressure.
I suppose, well, John, like you always wonder when if players aren't quite 100%. We don't know where Chiesa's at. Of course, didn't have much of a game time over the pre-season. At least he'll know the opposition. He'll be comfortable in the surroundings. He'll know all about if it's Hernandez he's coming up against. He'll know all about that particular challenge as well. Yeah. It's one less variable that you have to worry about. It's not Nottingham Forest booting you off the pitch or anything.
One more thing for them to worry about, isn't it?
But also for him, he'll be quite comfortable in that environment. So if you are going to give someone their first start, if they're not like, been in for 10, 15 minutes or whatever, I actually think it would make a lot of sense if he's involved in the squad tomorrow. Well, he's got to get involved at some point.
Yeah. I mean, people will start to ask questions if he's not on the bench. Quite rightly so.
Who else would be? I suppose Inyoni. I'm just thinking because you're allowed an extra spot. So they always have the second goalie. And then maybe Inyoni and Chiesa added to what we've got at the weekend could be the option. But I would like to see him on the bench. It'd be great for him to come on. Like I say, one less thing for him to worry about is he'll know the place perfectly well. So we're going to pick an 11 between what we think he's going to do. So we all think back five is staying the same, do we? Or
I still think Kwanzaa's coming in.
Okay.
You two both think Kwanzaa's coming in. I don't.
No, I would put Kwanzaa in. I don't think he will put Kwanzaa in. So that's a difference.
I think the back five will stay the same because
midfield, Jones in.
Why rotate?
For
Jones,
McAllister.
Do you think for McAllister? You think for Szoboszlai?
For Szoboszlai, yeah.
I think for Szoboszlai.
Only because of the side that McAllister tends to favour, and Curtis seems.
They both want to be on that left hand side. Yeah. And then up front, we all think Darwin starts centre forward.
Yeah.
Good enough team, I suppose. We'll find out on the day. Like I say, his bench is going to be absolutely packed.
Going back to the McAllister thing, I think he played better on the right and Curtis on the left last year.
Yeah, he can do it. He's absolutely sound doing that. Not a problem at all. Yeah. I suppose as well, if you want a bit more dynamism on that left hand side, it's certainly there. I suppose the only question will be, John, is like you say, when does Gakpo play if he's not playing here? You know what I mean? Like that's what he'll be asking himself. I don't know if Arneslot gives a toss. Whatever, we'll find out what his system is. But like, if you're Cody Gakpo, I think you would be very, very disappointed if on a Saturday, Tuesday turnaround you're not in the 11.
The game. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Potentially he could come in central Gakpo though, couldn't he? And not Nunes.
Yeah, he's tended to be. He said they need a manager.
He's tended to be rubbish when he's played anywhere but on the left.
The manager said to me in pre-season, but then he'll come on.
He's a real enigma, isn't he? Because you watch him play for Holland, and he plays from the left, and he's absolutely brilliant. And he plays on the left for us, and he can have 15 minutes like he had the other day, where he's just anonymous.
You don't really see him. Dixie says Alisson, Trent, Kwanzaa, Van Dijk, Robertson, Grav, McAllister, Szoboszlai, Gakpo, Nunes, Salah, so he's not changing the midfield. I'd be shocked. I think Jones is playing. I think Elliott would have played had he been fit. Yeah. I think Elliott was being earmarked for this game long ago. Unfortunately, he's broken his foot. I'd be shocked if Curtis didn't start this one. I know a few people. Curtis has been very much the butt of everyone's anger recently, and I think he hasn't played. It's been a bit unfair. People just tend not to like Curtis Jones. I thought he ended last season pretty well. I know there's a lot of people, especially it's the online community, who really seem to dislike Curtis Jones, John, but I thought he ended last season. I thought he was really good in pre-season as well.
One of the best players. Pre-season.
I think he'll play, and I think he's probably he is the next cab off the rank, isn't he? So if you're looking at rest and rotation, it's got to be Curtis.
Yeah, and particularly with Harvey Elliott not being around now, for a month or so, Curtis is next in line. And at some point, you've got to freshen up the midfield. You can't play 2 games a week on and on and on and on. You've got to have a break from it somewhere.
I thought Szoboszlai looked tired at the end. He could have come off as well. He really could have. I thought
that was probably one of his poorest games for us, to be honest.
I must say, regarding Domino, I think out of our midfield 3, I think he's asked to do the most running.
Yeah, well, he is. Yeah, the stats show you that.
Yeah.
I actually think Curtis, I always think one of Curtis' best stats, which is his pressing, actually.
Yeah.
And I think if you're going to say, give Szoboszlai a rest, Curtis go and leg it around the San Siro for an hour and then we'll take you off. The
other thing is McAllister. I think McAllister is really crucial to the way we play.
Yeah.
And, leaving him out is going to be tricky, I think.
Absolutely. Usually in the past we've done on these type of shows, we've done like, let's have a little look at what else is happening in Liverpool's group, who's playing who and whatever. The group is one massive ginormous group at the moment, so it's a bit difficult, and that's where I want to come on to next, John. In the past, I've been saying this for a while now, we've all known what you need to do to get through the Champions League group. Ideally, you want to win your own games, get a draw somewhere on the road, 10 points and you're probably through. If you can get a win on the road, you're giving yourself a really good chance at being first. We've got no idea what this is about. Like, 8 games, 36 teams in this group phase, top 8 go through automatically. The next 16
you don't
play each other.
want to be outside the top 8.
Ideally, that's going to be tough. You probably are going to have to win a lot to be in that top 8. That or if you're desperate not to play those 2 extra things, you probably have to win 6 games, and that's not easy when with the seedings now where you play a couple of pot 1 teams as well.
Yeah.
And Liverpool got some difficult pot 2s. Leverkusen isn't the easiest of the pot 2s. I do wonder. I've got no idea what a good result in the San Siro is now. A draw should always in the past be sound. But like now, I don't know because of how the fixtures have panned out.
I think everyone has got to try and win every game, haven't they?
That's why they made the changes.
Yeah, and that's why there's no low block coming tomorrow at the San Siro.
Sean says 16 points should be enough to get your top 8. So what's that? I mean, I don't know about that.
That's 5 wins and a draw.
I think I don't know, man. I mean, there's some good teams around, knocking around, so we'll see how they all get on. But like, I think 16 gets you through. Definitely get you through into the knockout phase. It just depends how desperate are you not to play that.
It's just the fact that everyone's playing different teams. It's so difficult to know how any particular one will fare.
Because Liverpool's draw was Liverpool's pot 2 teams were tough draw teams to get. So let's have a little scan around, see what's happening then around the league. Let's have focus mainly, I suppose, for now on the English teams and maybe a few of the big ones as well. Good for Aston Villa to get back into Europe. I don't think young boys away is the worst start for Aston Villa. I mean, to get themselves a Champions League, they'll be feeling delighted after doing what they did to Everton at the weekend as well. Going to Switzerland isn't the worst one for Villa, is it?
No, and I think that's one that they'll be looking to like grab 3 points in as well. I think they lose that one or they don't get maximum points from that one. That probably sets them up on a little bit of a trajectory they don't want to go in.
I don't see them having any trouble.
It's weird, really, because you're looking at these big. I'm just looking at the big teams as well. Like Real Madrid gets Stuttgart at home, they'll be delighted. Bayern Munich, potential option to win it. They got Zagreb at home, they'll be absolutely fine taking that one. PSG playing Girona, they'll be. I'm guessing not an easy game. Girona was really good in the Spanish league last year. Don't get me wrong, but I think it feels like Liverpool got Man City Inter's a big one, I suppose. John, they're the type of ties I think that the UEFA were after when they've made these changes.
City won't be scared of that though.
Well, they beat them in the final. It's a repeat of the final from a few years ago, but they're the type of games that they want more of. They want more City Inters. They want more of these. That's why they've made one of the reasons they've made these changes as well.
Yeah.
But we'd expect City. At the moment,
I just expect City to beat everyone. To be honest with you,
Atalanta away is a tough one for Arsenal. On Thursday, the fact that City play Wednesday at home, Arsenal have to go to Atalanta on Thursday. Listen,
how many of that last year's team have gone?
Not too many. And the manager's still the same.
Yeah.
What I would say, Arsenal are going to get legs.
Last year they surprised the hell out of everyone, didn't they? Because of the way they played, and they could do a job on Arsenal if they play that well. That man-to-man marking stuff was terrific. They no one could find a way to get around it.
It does. I'm saying if you're looking at like quote unquote glamour ties of Europe, really, I'm just looking through the fixtures now. Juve PSG isn't really that. Milan Liverpool probably is that. Is that Man City v Inter Milan is at this moment in time is one of them as well. And then you probably I don't know.
The way they've done
it really. Yeah.
The way they've done it, you're going to get around about 2 or 3 big games around, aren't you? So there's going to be games that you want to watch. Whereas because of the way the group stages were, sometimes you just get some weeks where you go, I'm not even bothered watching.
I think it's more towards the end where like teams out 6 games, 2 of them being dead rubbers. Like City were always not. Liverpool, to be fair, were fortunate to have, Milan last time was a dead rubber game. Yeah. They had Porto at home, complete dead rubber. I think they're trying to get rid of those. And also, it's more money, and it's effectively the Super League, just in UEFA's guise rather than in the breakaway league. But that's the point. Is that going back to the original question, I just don't know. Do you have to go to Italy and win? Because Liverpool's home fixtures are tough. Like getting Real Madrid and Leverkusen, when you want to bank your home points, John. I mean, you can't take either of those for granted. The champions of Italy, champions of Germany didn't lose a game. It's a real. You hope with the home fixtures being so tough, it actually puts a little bit more pressure on Milan away.
Absolutely. As I said before, I think for everyone, you've got to go and try and win every game. You won't, but you've got to try and do that.
Yeah, so sometimes in the past, you take a draw away, Like if it's 1-1, you'd be like, we'll take this. If it's 1-1 with 80 minutes gone, the Liverpool have to go and try and get the winner. That's the conundrum that this new group stage and the unkind fixture list, the way the draws panned out for Liverpool, puts a little bit of pressure on it here.
Well, I think a draw in Italy for us this week. I think a draw for Arsenal looks better because of the team they're playing.
And also the home games you get. Like the fact that our home games, again, go back to it, Madrid and Leverkusen being two of them. I mean, if Liverpool can, of course, Liverpool can get 6 points from that, but you wouldn't be banking all your hopes on that. You know what I mean? So I do think actually it's a real big.
They're both games you could lose easily enough. You know, again, that's probably what they were banking on, is games that were like that you couldn't actually predict.
The fact that it's Bologna at home next as well. If you can beat Milan in Milan and then beat Bologna at home, which I think Liverpool will be keen to do.
That's a good ground.
You're flying. You're taking pressure off yourself. So I think it's a big game, and I think you're more likely to beat Milan away than even if it's away than you are Real Madrid at home, for example. So I wonder if Slot, again, you factor into his team selection. He might go, listen, you know what, I might need to go heavy and push for a win.
I think we definitely will be looking for a win.
Absolutely, and they surely should. I mean, why not? Liverpool should be better than AC Milan. And yeah, we'll leave that there. Then we'll find out in due course what's a good result, and we don't know until it's all up in the air.
Because we don't know what's going to happen in the later games. Our team's going to think, well, I'm okay now. I'm through. You know, I'm not worried about winning the next one, and you know, or is it going to go right to the wire and every game's going to be really important? We just don't know, do we?
Unless you're Manchester City, who got like the Europa League draw again. Somehow they're in the Champions League and they still. Inter Milan's a tough one to be fair, but after that they've got themselves a pretty.
The other thing we have is the European leagues still have winter breaks, and we only play at it, so. There's going to be teams who are going to have 2 or 3 weeks where they don't play any football and then come back and have to play a big European game.
Yeah, because the way it pans out, it goes past Christmas, doesn't it? It's the way this new setup.
When there are 2 home games against Leverkusen and Real Madrid.
So this is and I'll bring the Liverpool fixture list up now because this is interesting. The Madrid one is before we play Manchester City, so the fixture list hasn't done us no favours there a little bit. But so Liverpool's running order of their Champions League fixtures, I'll just bring it up. They play Milan, obviously. The next game is against Bologna. That's sandwiched in between Wolves and Palace away. After that, they go to Leipzig, but that is after Chelsea at home and before Arsenal away. No, not an easy one, that. And then it's Brighton at home, Leverkusen at home, Aston Villa at home. Then they go to Southampton. Then they play Real Madrid at home. Then they play Manchester City at home, and then they play Newcastle away. Then they have the derby, and then they go to Girona. It's not easy. When you look at that's what I'm saying. Those Leverkusen and Madrid games being where they are, you know, you're going from a run of Chelsea, Leipzig, Arsenal, Brighton, Leverkusen, Villa, Southampton, Madrid. It puts an extra strain on those ones. I think tomorrow's massive for Liverpool to get 3 points from, just because it's going to be a tough sledding throughout the rest of the way. The draw just was not kind to Liverpool at all. You know, I mean, it could have been worse. You could have been away in the Bernabeu and away at Leverkusen, but I still think like it's a Milan has to be one.
It's almost a must-win already, isn't it?
Oh, I mean, you can't losing would be a real poor way to start. So we'll see how it goes. On that. Score predictions, what are we thinking, guys? Let us know in the comments. Sean has gone 2-1 to Liverpool. He thinks Chiesa is going to get on and score as well. That'd be nice if he does. Ryan thinks Liverpool 3, AC Milan 1.
2-0.
Okay.
I think it might be 2-1 as well. 2-1.
Yeah, so do I. Salah pen. Little Salah pen. Yeah, gets in behind Teo Hernandez, centre half comes across, takes him out, penalty gets.
I'm going for the Virgil header from a corner.
I'll take it. I'll absolutely take it. Yeah, lots of positivity in the round here. Listen, it was only one game at the weekend. I'm sure Liverpool can turn it around. So to let you know, in terms of our coverage here at Redmen on the game in Milan, of course, we'll have our live watch along. You'll have Paul and Chris in the studio for that one. Kickoff is 8 p.m. UK time, so go back 80 minutes from that one, which is 20 to 7. The watch along will go live with the team news reactions, all of that. We go live from that moment right through to an hour after kickoff as well. So get yourselves involved in that. I'm travelling over over to Milan as well, so again, keep an eye on the channel. We'll have loads of videos from over there as well. Forecasted rain, which I'm really annoyed about. I'm trying to get away from this miserable weather, and I'm going to Milan where it's forecasted rain, which isn't great. But yeah, we've got you covered every step of the way here on Redmen. Like I say, Paul and Chris and the guys will be in the other studio very, very shortly this afternoon with the main Redmen Originals podcast as well. So for more Liverpool content than you could possibly wish to get, we've got you covered here. Thanks very much to John. Thanks very much to Ian as well. Thanks for you guys for watching or listening. And yeah, let's hope Liverpool can get it done in Milan. Forza Liverpool. See you soon.